Hi, this is Colleen from Keeping the Peace, Defensive Handgun Training for Women, and I'm here with my friend Doug, and he's recently experienced a negligent discharge, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about his experience. Would you mind just describing to us your personal history with guns?
I'm a former corrections officer. I was probably almost 4 years into corrections. I've been around handguns and handling handguns since I was 4. In my lifetime, I've shot probably no less than 20,000 rounds. Just practicing. It's just a hobby of mine between practicing and hunting. And so I've been around them for 39 years now, handling.
You actually cut my teeth on guns on your farm, didn't I?
Yeah, sure did.
Let us know, what were some of the events leading up to this negligent discharge?
Well, about 3 months ago, we had somebody attempt to break into our house. And I'm physically disabled, and a lot of times I'm stuck in a recliner. And I'd realized that I hadn't practiced from the sitting position, done any tactical practice whatsoever. So I set up a range behind our house, and I was trying to do muscle memory. There's only 2 angles to where you can access me if I'm home alone. And I had focused on what I call the number 1 entrance, which is our bedroom and the front door. That's one access point, and I was just, again, mainly focusing on memory, muscle memory. And I had shot my last shot and was about to move the target and realized that I couldn't see my laser sight on my pistol. So first thing I did was I took my finger off the trigger, put it up on the trigger guard. I rolled my pistol over, keeping the barrel downrange, and looked at my laser. And as soon as I rolled over, my back spasmed on me, which caused my whole body to jerk. When it did, the finger jerk, and I had it through and through, entrance here and out here. I missed the bone itself by less than the thickness of a sheet of paper.
Doug, I know that this is an extremely traumatic experience for you, and it's hard to talk about, but I appreciate you being transparent, because it's going to be helpful for a lot of people out there who think that this could never happen to them. I really appreciate that.
If it helps one person, it's worth it.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's helped me already, so there you go. Okay, would you mind describing for us what happened after? Because you said earlier you didn't even realize you shot yourself at first. So.
I hadn't. I thought I got a flash burn.
Okay.
And it felt like somebody just punched me really hard in the arm. And I had laid my pistol down, and I steadied myself on the chair to get up to actually move my target. And as soon as I did that, I saw blood shoot about 5 feet.
Wow.
And that's when I realized it was time to wake the wife up and make a trip to our local ER.
Yeah. So once you got there, you had to wait, what, a week to have surgery?
Yeah, this happened August the 11th, which is on a Sunday, and the following Friday, or the next Friday, they did surgery. And every day I was either at a UTC, urgent treatment center, emergency room, or an after-hours clinic, because the pain was just excruciating for the week.
Okay. So how involved was this surgery? What exactly did they have to do to reconstruct your arm?
They connected they had to rebuild all the muscle, reattach it. All the nerves that were severed, they had to reattach them. I've got still a lot of nerve damage here, and he said the doctor said if there was going to be any place that's not going to fully recover, it's going to be on this side right here.
Where the exit
And that's
was.
where the worst part of the exit was.
Okay. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to insert here a few pictures of what it looked like before, when you sent those pictures to me,
Fair warning.
Yeah.
Fair warning. They are very gruesome.
Yes. Are there any changes that you're going to make, like the next time you go out into your backyard to practice? Are there any things you thought of that you might change to prevent this from happening to you again?
Well, the first change that I've already thought of is my trigger guard. I've got a real wide strap on my pistol. And my trigger guard, like here's the slide, trigger guard comes to a point here. Instead of resting my finger here, it comes to a point right here. I'm actually resting my finger just below, with about 1/3 of the finger up on the guard itself and about 2/3 of it below.
Okay.
That way if it draws up again, it'll just slip and come down below,
Okay.
just on the grip itself.
Okay.
And
So you're not actually on the trigger guard like this anymore?
no,
You're down
no,
here.
absolutely,
Okay.
right.
All right, so that's an option. Or you could also put it above the trigger guard, but as long as you're not on it where you could slip
Right.
into it. Okay?
Do you have any advice? I mean, what
Well,
had you shot yourself in a large forearm?
no.
What change would you?
No, the main thing I would say would be get that finger, I would probably say go above if you can, simply because way up here, it's just almost impossible physically to squeeze in because it's so awkward. It even feels awkward when you first start grabbing your gun with your finger way up here. It feels and looks awkward.
Okay.
And it's really intentional because it's so unnatural to stick your finger way up here, whereas this feels very natural and relaxed.
Right.
So I want to do something that feels unrelaxed because I'm thinking about keeping that up there. So it's more purposeful. But what I'm thinking about with you, which is, this is a little nerve-wracking. We didn't mention this earlier, but Doug has a very long history of extremely bad back problems. We went to the same church together years ago, and I remember him being taken out on a stretcher to the ER because he was having such a bad back spasm. He was on the floor of the church. And you never know when that's going to hit, right?
No.
I mean,
Have
you have
no
no
clue.
idea.
It just pops up.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have something similar or maybe something different but could have the same effect.
Exactly.
So, you were actually doing it the safe way. You leaned your gun over to look at the crimson trace. You were pointing toward the target, which would be the way to do it. And honestly, this could have happened to you while you had both hands on the gun and you were shooting.
Absolutely.
It could have happened at any time. So really, the only thing I can think of is making sure that that's in a very purposeful way, way, I would say above that trigger guard. Might be even safer than below.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I would probably go for. The whole point of me doing this video is to let people know that there's basically two kinds of people in the world, two kinds of shooters. There's the shooters that have already experienced a negligent discharge, and there are shooters that might, okay? There's a lot of people out there that would blame it on the gun if they shot themselves. Doug doesn't do that.
Absolutely not.
Okay, he realizes that it's human error that causes this. Doug, if you had the chance to give all these viewers, who knows how many of them there will be, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Avoid Twinkies. No. Never get complacent. No matter how many rounds you've shot, no matter how experienced you think you are, never get complacent around a firearm.
When you woke up that morning, did you think you'd get shot?
No.
You never thought that would happen,
No.
did you?
You know what?
Never in years.
When I wake up in the morning, I hope I don't get shot again.
Yeah, I hope you don't either. And you have to like squash your pride to do this, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
you do.
It's hard,
You do.
especially if you're known by everyone as a safe gun user, right? It's
Absolutely.
like, it's really, you have to really, squash your pride to do it, and I really appreciate you doing that.
It's my pleasure again. Like I said, if it helps one person, it's worth it. I'll shout it to the world. I mean, it makes no difference to me. Pride is not an issue with me, especially around firearms. I mean, you've got again, you've got children. I saw you working with a kid earlier, and that just put a smile on my face. Keep them safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll shake your good hand.
Well, it went in, the entrance wound was roughly this area right here.
Okay.
And it was a .40 caliber, so it made quite the impression. There was a chunk of skin that was left here. It was a through and through. And when you can see where it started the exit right here.
Yeah.
And it just blew out. And you'll see from the prior pictures
Right.
the pile of flesh
Yep.
and
I remember
muscle
that.
was left right through here.
And what did that feel like? You said it burned.
At first, it felt like somebody just punched me, and even after I knew that I'd been shot, after I saw the blood, the worst thing I could have done was panic.
Right. That's true.
I unloaded the pistol best I could. I had one round left. I shot it downrange, went to the back door, woke my wife up. First thing we did was bandage it up with a towel. We wrapped it up as tight as we could, and immediately went to the ER. They couldn't do anything for me at the local ER, so they had to send me to a trauma unit that night.
Pain was out of this world, right?
Pain. Sunday, the day that it happened, was mainly burning and numbness.
Okay.
Because they had that whole section, they had cauterized
Oh.
that entire section
Oh, okay.
at the trauma unit. Now Monday, the next day, is when the pain really set in, and there was no relief until maybe 2 weeks ago. I still get muscle spasms here and here, and it ends up with a big V right here. I've got a knot that pops up here and a big knot that pops up here, and my hand will bend back like this.
Wow.
And it's but the doctor said 3 to 6 months. I should have full range of motion, a full year, and everything should look all of this should basically look just like a normal scar.
Yeah. It'll round back out.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I won't have all the nice little bumps and niceties and
Yeah. No fun, huh?
none.
Woo.